Hello, and welcome to an interesting episode of Chicken Bros. My name is David Heath.
And I'm so sorry. I'm so busy. I'm slammed.
Ah, yes. And today we're not really reviewing anything, and I know a lot of you are looking at the screen right now and going, really? This webbed fucker again? But interesting news dropped today, and my mind's been flabbergasted ever since I heard it. But Spider Man's contract with Marvel Studios has extended after No Way Home, which is coming out very soon. He's going to get a whole other trilogy at Marvel Studios.
Now, as long as he gets the same respect that he got with this trilogy and with Marvel in general, we're going to be happy no matter what happens.
Yes, I feel like one of the vital things they should do, and I feel like it's because this is the reason the Spider-Man movies have been working so far. If they keep the same team, and I don't mean like cast, I mean like writers, the director, all the producers, if they keep those guys on board with the Spidey projects, I feel like we'll be in the clear. Because so far they've been doing a really good job making Spider-Man movies.
Oh yeah, two for two so far. Hopefully this third one's a real home run.
Yeah, it looks like this No Way Home is going to be amazing. No pun intended.
It's going to be spectacular. Might even be superior.
Perhaps. Um, but yeah, so, what does this mean for Spider-Man? It means that more potential for his stories to be explored in film. Stories that maybe we're familiar with, or maybe that we're not so familiar with. I feel like this would be the perfect opportunity to bring in villains that haven't made it to screen yet.
Hobgoblin.
Yeah, like Hobgoblin or Craven,
Yes, Craven Hunter.
Craven Hunter, or
I'm sorry, I can't take him seriously anymore because in a Squirrel Girl comic that I have, he befriends Squirrel Girl and turns his life around.
well, I mean, true, but he is like a predator to Spider-Man.
Yeah, he is in the Spidey comics, but in the Squirrel Girl comics, he is just Hunter looking for bigger game because he thought Spider-Man was biggest game until Squirrel Girl proved him wrong.
um, I know that there are some people out there who are looking for other like classic villains. Like I've heard someone say that like they want to see the MCU's version of Chameleon, which I think would be interesting.
Didn't they have like a nod to him in the first one, or no, in Far From Home with that
Yeah,
one guy?
yeah, but but he was like the guy. Like he wasn't being Chameleon at that point.
Right, but he's the guy. He has the same name as Chameleon,
Yeah,
so
but like I think what they mean is like for them to see him be a threat to Spider-Man.
yeah, interesting how they do that because from what I've seen of Chameleon in different incarnations, the way he does his chameleon thing is different. In the animated series, he had a belt that turns him into other people, but
Right.
in like the comics, he like physically disguises himself. Like
Yeah,
he
he
does like
wears face masks.
so. It'd be interesting to see how um the MCU would tackle it. I'm guessing cloaking technology of some kind or
Perhaps. Although, and I'd like to submit this as a possibility. You know what I think would be cool to see, even though it's not technically comic book accurate?
what?
It'd be cool to see him, like, have it as an ability, like something he can just do. Like, imagine almost like something similar to Mystique in the X-Men. Like, he can just change into other people.
Interesting. But
That,
he would, but like his basic form is still that white faced,
yeah.
Voldemort looking guy.
Yeah. And, like, maybe the form we saw in Far From Home is just a disguise.
Yeah,
That'd be
some guy,
interesting.
some poor soul he killed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Poor guy.
Kind of like how in X-Men 1, Mystique took the guise of Henry Gyrick, who, according to Mysterio, had been dead for some time.
Mm.
Or Mysterio, Mystique, Magneto. So many M names in fucking Marvel.
um, and also because we all know what happened at the end of Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage. Potential symbiote storyline? You know, I know it's different, but like, you know, who knows? Maybe it can still work. I'd be interested to see how Tom Holland takes on the whole symbiote suit saga. As long as he gets to fight Eddie Brock by the end of it, I'll be all right with it.
I'd be down for like, because I want to see the symbiote suit saga, but I want to see it done right. I want to see it redeemed from Maguire's turn. You know,
Well, the good thing is that they've already got like a pretty good Eddie Brock, like
they do, but
and
I just feel like I want to see a good black symbiote suit.
right, right, and I think like there's a lot of people talking about like, will Venom be in No Way Home? And I'm thinking, I mean, an end credit scene maybe, but
Yeah, there's too much going on for him to be a main villain.
right. And I think that like if they do an end credit scene where they tease the possibility of Venom coming back, then that could be a good lead into possibly number 4. Like, and the thing is that like if they're gonna do Spider-Man versus Venom, they need to have it attach itself to Spider-Man first. Like it's already on Eddie Brock, so it needs to have a reason to go to Spider-Man. And
Yeah,
with the new rules they've invented for this particular version of Venom, basically he needs to match with the host.
right.
So it's not outside the realm of possibility that Peter could be a match for Venom.
Yeah.
And like, you know, much like because you know, the thing I thought was interesting, I don't know if you caught this, Noah, but at some point in Venom 2, Venom mentioned that all symbiotes share a hive mind over 80 billion years or something like that.
Yeah.
And like that I think is also like interesting because it means like they gather and save information, which is I think how they'll explain how after being on Spider-Man he's able to block his spider sense.
Yeah.
Because like the symbiotes have always been able to gather knowledge about their host and save it. So I think that would be an interesting way to do that.
Spider like powers in the comics.
Yeah, and then when it goes back to Eddie Brock, then it'll have the spider on the chest.
Oof, I hope it looks good.
And I'm just thinking about everything they could possibly do with the new room they have now. And think about this too. Maybe that Miles Morales reference won't go in vain.
It shouldn't. Marvel's usually pretty good about those things.
Yeah, they're usually pretty good about setting little Easter eggs. I think that like if they bring in Miles, because this is the thing I'm worried about. In the 1610 universe, Peter dies, and that's what pushes Miles to then become Spider-Man. I don't know if I want to watch Peter die in order to get Miles.
Right, but I mean, there are other incarnations where Peter and Miles live simultaneously. Like
exactly, and I feel like that would be like the best course of action.
Like the way I think the game sets it up is that Peter is like the Queen's Manhattan Spider-Man, whereas Miles is like the Harlem Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah, like and like man, New York would benefit from having 2 Spider-Mans running around. Hell, I mean, if the leaks of No Way Home are to be believed, they might have 3.
Yeah. Well, 1.5 because Andrew and Garfield aren't exactly.
Oh, good point.
Great.
Well, no, I guess 1 and 2 that makes 2.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I said 1.5 because each Maguire and Garfield each have a piece of the spider.
Right,
like,
but like they both have a half of like because Tobey Maguire's good at being Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield's good at being Spider-Man, but they both don't have that other piece.
Yeah, but also Garfield has the quip personality.
Yeah, that comes with being Spider-Man.
Yeah, but Maguire has like
the nerdiness of Peter Parker.
Yeah, but also like the being late thing.
Well, yeah, but I think that's just an element of being Peter Parker.
True. You were late again? Pardon me.
And that's the thing is like, because like I was so, I mean, anybody who's listened to me for the past couple of years knows this, but like, I've always said that like I was grateful that we got Spider-Man into the MCU because I knew if anybody could do Spider-Man right, it's Marvel themselves.
Yep.
And you know
they haven't proved us wrong yet.
Nope. And I thought like, okay, so we're getting the trilogy and then his team up movies with the Avengers. You know, those team up movies can be like usually whatever they want because like it was Civil War, Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. So like 2 of them were Avengers movies. But if we're really thinking about it, Civil War was basically Avengers 2.5.
Pretty much. It said, it's funny, it's the official title of that movie is Captain
America Civil War. But if you think about it, it's not really through the lens of Captain America. It's more just... The movie, I feel like, should have just been called Civil War.
Yeah.
But, like, okay, so the fact that we got a trilogy out of this, like I'm thinking like, okay, I'm grateful for that, and if they nail it, then they can do whatever the hell they want afterwards. Thinking that like because originally after No Way Home, the rights of Spider-Man were going to revert back to Sony, and then they were going to do whatever the hell they were going to do.
Spider-Verse 2, maybe?
Yeah. And I thought, okay, well, if we get a successful trilogy from Marvel and Spider-Man, I'll be fine. And, that'll probably be the end of the MCU for me because Endgame was just too good of an ending. And, Shang-Chi wasn't bad, but, like, I didn't even bother with Eternals, and you told me Black Widow wasn't even worth watching.
Mm-hmm. Now, but that was just my opinion.
Right.
Like, I like...
But that's also the consensus. A lot of people really didn't like that movie.
Yeah, but, I always make sure to just overstate that that's just my opinion, and
Right.
you're allowed to do it if you want.
Right. And, so I was fine with getting through No Way Home and hopefully enjoying it and then being like, okay, I've had my time with the MCU and that's that. But now there's more to come. There's more Spider-Man going. And I wonder if it's just another trilogy or if it's another trilogy and other possible team-up movies. Like, is he going to be part of the new Avengers?
Maybe.
It makes you wonder, man.
I think we need more of like new Avengers characters.
Well, they're building them up because Cassie's going to be Stature in Ant-Man 3, and Kate Bishop's already been introduced.
Yeah, and then I guess, in theory, we have Isaiah Bradley, aka Patriot, because he was introduced in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Right. The thing is, though, is that, like, every Avengers needs a Cap, and we have a new one. So Anthony Mackie could be the new Captain America to this new Avengers group. I feel like Bucky could still be a part of it.
Yeah, but he'd probably be called, like, the White Wolf or something.
Probably, yeah, and that's probably the best course of action. I mean, he can't go by the Winter Soldier anymore. That's a part of himself he left behind.
Yep.
And, of course, having Spider-Man in there. Because that's the thing. Spider-Man's always been, like, a key point in Marvel's history.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Spidey geek, but I honestly think he's like their most popular character.
Oh yeah, no lie.
And like, I've always loved him. I've loved him from the moment I first saw him. It's just like nice seeing him being done justice, and now there's more of an opportunity to really explore more of him.
Oh yeah.
I just think it's amazing. I don't mean to keep using that word but like, it's just what a time to be alive for a Spider-Man fan,
Yeah.
I honestly wonder, like, because Kevin Feige has been, like, he's always been adamant about trying to get Spider-Man into the MCU, and when he finally did it, he was willing to take what he could get. But now that this has happened, I wonder what he's going through his head right now. He's probably like a kid in a candy store.
Yep, most likely.
And it makes me wonder, like, after No Way Home, like, because it's not out yet, and you and I don't know what happens in it. It makes me wonder, like, when that movie ends, what are we gonna like wonder about the future for Spider-Man? Because like, shit looks like it's gonna go down in that movie.
If we don't get the Sinister Six in this movie, we're definitely gonna get them in the next one.
Yeah, or some version of the Sinister Six, because every villain that's in No Way Home is from a different universe. So like, what if this all leads up to the Sinister Six, but they're all from the MCU? Which again leads to my theory that I don't think Mysterio's dead. He could still have an opportunity to come back, if not in No Way Home, then possibly in the new trilogy. But I don't have proof yet, so.
And I don't have any proof to prove that he is dead, other than the fact that I literally think that he keeled over and died, and Peter didn't say, is he dead, because he didn't have to. Because by saying, is this real, he was like, I can't tell if this is actually his body or not. And Edith, being an AI, probably knows what he's like, is he dead? All illusions have stopped. That basically is just... It's flimsy, but that's just the way I see it. I could be proven wrong, but I also could be right, so...
And the only way we'll know for a fact is when they address it, if at all.
Yep.
I mean, if they go on and Mysterio doesn't show up again, then I'll have no choice to assume that he's actually dead, and I'll be like, oh, okay, well, I was wrong.
Yeah, but you could still be proven right in a later movie because we have a whole new trilogy to go.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If in the later trilogy he doesn't show up again, then I'll be left to assume, okay, well, he's really dead.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like because Vulture's still alive, we know that for a fact.
Yep.
Scorpion's out there, and he's not Scorpion yet. I feel like
Yeah.
Shocker would want revenge after what happened, and then we know Chameleon's out there, so I feel like this is all like coming to a big. And you know what? I just thought of this because with a new trilogy, there'd be technically 6 movies, which means the latter one would be 6. So what if that was the moment when the Sinister Six comes up in the 6th movie?
Ooh, clever.
Spider-Man Sinister Six. I don't know.
Yeah, they might drop the home theme with the new trilogy.
I mean, I kind of respect them for keeping it up to this point, but I wouldn't lose a wink of sleep if they decided to drop it.
Yeah, as long as the movie's good.
Yeah,
Who cares?
that's what matters is the movie's good. I'm not gonna cry if the 4th one doesn't have the word home in the title. If it's just called Spider-Man, Brand New Day, which it can't be called that because reasons. But yeah, but yeah, this is like amazing news. It's true. It's all been confirmed by the head of Sony, and I can't believe that we're living in a world where Spider-Man reigns supreme once again.
Woo!
So, yeah, that's the bread and butter.
Bread, bud.
So, we'll see you next time. Let us know what you think. I mean, and all 2 of you who watch us. And we'll see you next time on Chicken Bros.